Now that we have completed the design of the user interface for the Greet Friend application, let's quickly review some of the aspects of Android user interface that we have encountered so far. So what we have understood already is that in Android, every activity is associated with a user interface, and the user interface is specified in a layout file. And the layout file is supplied as a parameter to the setContentView method call inside the onCreate method of the activity. Going back to our main activity.java code, we see that the setContentView is being called inside the onCreate method, and it is taking the parameter of the XML file, which is the activity main.xml file. Reviewing the XML layout that we just designed, we see that this user interface layout has three widgets included in the layout. The first one is a text view that displays the message. The second one is an edit text view where you type in your friend's name. And the third one is the button which the user clicks in order to display the greeting message to the friend. We see that this user interface is composed of three different user interface widgets for this example. These widgets are also referred to as views in Android. Summarizing, what we have understood so far is that the user interface is built using views. Now, in addition, these views can be enclosed inside view group objects, which we will review in a short while. The views are the base class for widgets like the text views, the edited text, and the buttons that we use in our UI design. These views can then be enclosed inside view groups, which is what allows you to do layouts for your user interface. We will encounter some of them in more detail as we go through the several examples in this course. The views and the view groups that comprise the user interface for an Android application can be organized into a tree-structured hierarchy as shown in the figure on the right side. So we might have at the top level a view group which encloses other view groups and views down below, and view groups in turn may be composed of a group of views that form this view group. Returning to our UI design, so we see that this representation of the user interface for the Greet Friend application shows us the design view. Now we can switch to the text view of the user interface where the same UI is represented using XML format. Hence the reason the layout files are XML formatted files. So within this XML file, you see the three different views being described here. In addition, for each of these views, we have certain properties being set up in XML. These three views are then enclosed inside a view group, which is the relative layout. The layout files are enclosed inside the layout subfolder of the resources folder, as you see in this folder hierarchy for your project. Returning to the UI design, we see that the UI is defined in the layout file, which is in the resources folder. There are two ways to view the layout, as we have seen for the example. We have the visual view, which is accessible through the design tab of your XML layout. And then we have the XML code view, which you can access using the text tab of your layout file. Inside the XML representation, we see that the widgets have been given IDs. Like, for example, the text view has been given an ID as text message. The reason for giving IDs to these widgets is so that we can reference them within the Java code. For example, the text view being referenced as r.id.textMessage. That completes our discussion on building the user interface. So we'll go off to the next example where we will learn how to identify and respond to user interaction within the UI, in particular, event listeners. We'll also review resources in a bit more detail in that section.